Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're jumping into something really cool. A super creative way of teaching that smashes two things together you would probably never think of. Sixth grade math and ancient biblical stories. It's a pretty surprising way to get your head around integers.
And really, it all comes down to this one question. Can these stories that are thousands of years old actually help a kid figure out positive and negative numbers? Well, the lesson plan we're looking at is pretty confident the answer is a huge yes. And it does it by making these abstract numbers feel, real. The main story they use to anchor this whole idea is the life of Joseph. And his story is honestly the perfect example of some major ups and downs, which, as you're about to see, maps perfectly onto the idea of positive and negative values. I mean, just look at this life. It's a total roller coaster. He gets thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and then ends up in prison. Talk about some serious low points, right? But then, everything flips. He gets out of prison and eventually becomes this incredibly powerful ruler in Egypt. It's that journey from the absolute worst to the absolute best that makes his story such an amazing teaching tool. Okay, now here's where it gets really clever. The lesson plan actually puts numbers on this emotional journey. Every big event gets an integer value. Being thrown into a pit? That's a -10, the worst it gets. Becoming a ruler? That's a +10. And just like that, a story turns into a set of concrete numbers that we can actually work with. So, how do you turn this story into a real math tool? Well, the key is the good old number line. This is where the stories and the numbers all come together visually. You can literally see how different events and their values relate to each other. And this whole system runs on one simple golden rule. You ready? Numbers further to the right on a number line are greater. Numbers to the left are smaller. That's it. That's the one principle you need to remember to compare any two integers. So let's see it in action. Here we're comparing two totally different experiences. Peter denying Jesus, which gets a -3, and Paul's conversion, which gets a +5. Now, using our rule, which one's greater? It's gotta be Paul's number, right? +5 is way over to the right on the number line compared to -3. And to really make this click, the lesson asks a super simple question. Would you rather owe someone 3 coins or have 5 coins? Yeah. The answer is pretty obvious. It instantly connects that math idea of greater than to something that just, makes sense. This same logic works for everything. So when you compare something amazing, like Lazarus being raised from the dead, that's a +9, to a scary moment like Peter sinking in the water, a -4, well, it's not even a contest. Any positive number, doesn't matter how small, is always going to be greater than any negative number. Okay. But here's where things can get a little counterintuitive for a lot of people. A positive versus a negative. Easy. But what happens when you have to compare two negative numbers? This is usually the biggest hurdle to really getting integers. So here's the trick question from the lesson. Which one of these is actually the greater number? Is it -10, because, 10 feels like a bigger number than 6, or is it something else? This question is specifically designed to test if we're really thinking with that number line rule. And here it is, the key insight that makes it all make sense. Smaller negative numbers, and by that I mean the ones that are closer to 0, are actually greater than the larger negative numbers that are way far away from 0. So the bottom line is, -6 is mathematically greater than -10. And why? Because if you picture that number line, -6 is to the right of -10. It's less negative, which means it has a greater value. All right, now that we've got the rules down for all the different comparisons, let's put it to the test with a quick challenge straight from the homework problems in this lesson. Okay, your turn. I want you to put these 3 events in order from least to greatest. We've got Moses leading the Israelites at a +10, Peter sinking in the water, a -4, and Job's trials, a -7. Just think about where they'd sit on that number line. What's the right order? And here we go. The correct order starts with the least value, the one that's furthest to the left. That's Job's trials at -7. Then moving to the right, we hit Peter sinking at -4. And finally, way over on the positive side, the greatest value is Moses at +10. So after going through all the stories and the rules and the challenges, let's kind of zoom out and look at the big picture here. Why does this teaching method actually work so well? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. First, it gives you these super clear, simple rules.
Positives always beat negatives, and with two negatives, the one closer to zero is greater. Second, it constantly uses that number line so you can see what's going on. But really the most important part, it connects all of these abstract math ideas to stories we can understand, stories about failure and success. And that makes the concepts stick in a way that just staring at numbers never could.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. This lesson is a fantastic example of using stories to teach math. So it makes you wonder, what other tricky, complex subjects, in science, philosophy, whatever, could we finally unlock if we just figured out the right stories to tell?